So here I am in my sewing room wanting to talk about what just went down with the court case. As you can see, I'm kind of disheveled. I have been working on getting all the dust out of here. Suzanne Titkemeyer used to write a blog. All they didn't want us calling ourselves bloggers. Used to write a daily column called No Longer Quiver. And I trained this woman that I'm getting ready to talk about. She came on at Pathos when I was there, and I struggled with her. So now I try not to talk about her unless there's court action. So today I've been out of action because of my knee. I'm sitting here winding yarn because I've got way too much of the crap from various kids and things, waiting for an update, and we got one. Let me first state don't harass anybody I'm going to talk about today. Don't go after Katie Joy. Don't do anything like that. It's actually kind of funny watching this whole thing. Hey, 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 what are you doing? Are you waiting? Oh, I was waiting to hear what happened. Apparently, what happened with the 7M Katie Joy lawsuit, today there was a scheduled hearing, okay, to determine scheduling. So I've been really curious to see what they were going to come up with for this whole thing. And it was pretty crazy. Oh, yeah, you did catch another live stream. Basically, let me see if I can pull up. I took notes after watching. The scheduling was a big nothing burger, it sounded like to me, because here's the thing. Katie Joy has not cooperated with the written discovery demands, not at all. So they have nothing, 7M, from her, no depositions, nothing they're supposed to have already had. But being that it's Minnesota, hey, Blizzard, being that it's Minnesota, it sounds like it's kick the ball down the road. You just keep kicking that ball down the road. It's kind of like me with my stupid knee. Why fix it if it ain't totally broken? So Minnesota kicked it down the road again, is what they did. The judge did. So here's where it broke down. If I can find my own stupid notes I just took. Discovery delayed until July the 25th or 26th for the written discovery that KJ owes 7M, the responses. So she's kicked the ball down the road again. She's late per usual, and the file by date on all of this is September the 23rd. That's on the depositions and the responses. And there's also going to be some further court hearings on how much of this needs to be private, how much of it needs to go onto the public court record. 7M says they want to look at mediation and motions before the end of the year. So the date on that is December the 31st. She's doing this so 7M will settle. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that that's why she's doing it. Plus, like I said, my understanding of the court system there, from what little I know, is that because Minnesota is one of these very nice places, is that a lot of things they just delay and delay and delay, particularly with something squishy, squeezy, weird like this. Why 7M is not asking for an immediate summary judgment because of the fact that she keeps delaying everything and doesn't cooperate with times. I don't know. If it'd been me, I would have been like every time asking for a summary judgment and then going forward with saying, okay, well, if we can have it by this date. I suspect they're not going to be able to wrap this up by the end of the year. Why? Because once all of this takes place, once they get written discovery, and I mean written discovery only, and they go through that, there's still the issue of what needs to be private, what doesn't need to be private, who can see what. Butterflies are ninjas. Hey, hey. So let's see what happens with all that crap. What I think will probably happen is more delays, more obfuscation by Katie, and like I said, I'm not really sure why 7M's lawyer is not screaming for summary judgment. This has just all gotten way too stupid. And even if this is dismissed or they settle, if you've spent $100,000 on legal fees, have you really won anything? Or did you make yourself just look a whole lot more stupid in the process? Various people connected to, um, have a feeling a lot of this has to do with the judge not wanting to set precedent one way or another. Blizzard, I believe you're probably right. The other thing I think is Minnesota, the nice state, they probably don't want to rock the boat and create a lot of drama with this and then have KJ be able to come back and overturn it all on appeal. That could be well what's going on. But what do I know? I'm not Emily D. Baker. I don't understand the law beyond, the don't do anything more than jaywalk or feed the birds here, which I'm not supposed to be doing, but I'm doing breaking the law, breaking the law. So I keep my log breaking low level. I try not to do that stuff. But anyway, they have people that are connected to the Cody Brown family that are talking about bringing lawsuit against Katie Joy with TLC, no less. Cease and desist, which we all know what she does with cease and desist. She treats cease and desist like most people treat their toilet paper. So if you're wiping with it and tossing it, which is what I think is going to happen here, if they do hit her with that, it's all an effed up mess. What do I know? All I know is these kinds of lawsuits just waste a whole lot of money, a whole lot of time, and you just make yourself look really stupid. I saw that on Twitter. Wasn't sure it was legit. Butterflies or ninjas. I've seen that all over the place, but some of the people that are saying this, I know are connected to the Browns. So there's got to be something going on behind the scenes, even if it's just a cease and desist. Because what she has done about that poor young man's for his death is just it's pretty vile. I don't know how you could sleep at night or look in the mirror or any of that. I guess if you're a sociopath, none of that matters. You're just like, I'm making money because you know that's what it's all about. It's clicks and coins. If she can make clicks and coins off of this, she will. And if I were her, I wouldn't be speaking out so freely about Todd Chrisley and family because I know for a fact they are getting every time she's talking about him recently. I don't like the Duggars and hope they should sue her. Yeah. Yeah, I would hope they would too. But Todd Chrisley, she seems to think that because Todd is in jail, that he doesn't have rights. No such thing. People in jail can see you a lot quicker because they have a lot better access to sitting around obsessing over things and filing endless motion after endless motion. So when she settled with the Chrisleys, it was under the understanding that she would not speak about them, they would not speak about her. They have kept that up. They have said not one word about her. She is currently defaming him left, right, and center. Whether you like or hate Todd Chrisley and his wife or not, and I don't know what happened for sure with the lawsuit they were in with the IRS, but it did come out that at least one of the agents lied about what was paid and what wasn't on the stand and how that did not cause the entire thing to be overturned. I don't know, except to say that I think the IRS really wanted to make an example of Chrisley. I guess they want to throw the fear of God into the reality ones that don't cheat on your taxes. So we're coming up on the 15th. So pay your taxes, folks. I'm getting ready to upload mine. I've only finished them. I'm always late. My husband's always like, from January 1st on, you done our taxes yet? I'm like, no, not yet, because we live in Costa Rica and it takes me a while to gather all the documents because they don't always just automatically show up in my email box, unfortunately. I think KJ thinks she is untouchable, so I hope all these people sue her into oblivion. Nasty piece of work. Exactly. So this is probably going to be the only time until we get to the next lawsuit that I'm gonna talk about her because like I said, when I start talking about her that's not connected to the lawsuit, I feel like I should go take myself in the other room and, I don't know, use a cat o' nine tails and beat myself like the nuns used to do to mortify their flesh, or scrub my mouth out with bleach or something like that because it's no fun. Hey, Middle, says Monica. I didn't even see you there. I'm sorry. So that's where we are. Kudos to Aaron for re-going over KJ's allegation of R, and super kudos to the lovely Vernell Smith from yesterday. She had a really fun live stream last night, at least last half. I stopped watching people to talk about her because it makes me depressed and feeling dirty. Exactly. So that's why I try not to talk about her much at all because it's just crazy making. And my man in there didn't want me talking about her at all. He's probably pissed about this. Yeah. So we had fun with Renelle last night, and stay tuned, folks, because Nene Marie says that she has got copies of all of the law enforcement through the FOIA, all law enforcement calls out to Katie Joy's home, and apparently there were like 27, some crazy amount. She's got all of the police reports, and she's going to be writing, right? And she's going to be reading them aloud on her channel any day now. My asthma is kind of Um, we're having the hottest time of the year, which is right now, right before the switch over. We're trying to switch over to dry season. I mean, rainy season from dry season. And the problem that I have with that is what I got going on now. I start, once it starts going into 100 degrees or better every day, and I start pulling up the weather reports that say dangerous air, Peligroso, I have to stay inside. So I'm stuck inside in my AC. My bedroom's not working, so I'm stuck in my laundry. I have lived here almost 7 years now. We moved here because it was something my husband wanted to do, and I wasn't convinced about it at first. I gotta tell you, I was not. And that's after having been here on vacation and loved it. It is nice because there's a lot to do here and there's a lot to see. It's all kinds someone, yeah, of course. And I think part of that too is the fact that she's from Minnesota. She's in the Minnesota courts. And it almost seems like Minnesota courts favor Minnesota defendants, plaintiffs, whatever, if you're from Minnesota and you have this slick LA doctor, reverend, whatever, and his people coming in. Favorite and least favorite things. Okay. I'm going to tell you the least favorite thing and the favorite thing. Favorite thing, you can't see from here, but there is a window right here. My house has picture windows in every room, and it's lovely. So that's my favorite thing because if I'm having a bad asthma day like today, I can open the curtains and watch Quantum Mondays. I can see howler monkeys. There's a howler monkey that likes to come to this window and look in at me when I'm sewing sometimes or painting. He's part of his whole family. I've showed him my cat when he wanted to look at it and whatever I'm working on. That's my favorite things. Okay. My Spanish is un poquito, just enough to shop and do the things I need to do. Least favorite thing is the fact that Ticos will sometimes lie to you. Instead of saying, no can do, they'll say, oh, yeah, I'll do it. No problem. I tell the story of the three plumbers, the time that we had a plumber come in because we had the wax gasket under the toilet go bad. I asked for the guy to fix it. He's, oh, sure, no problem. We'll fix it. It's an easy repair. I've done it before. Big time. Yeah, she needs to, Kleenex needs to be burned up. Oh my goodness, Prairie. I didn't know that about your sister. I'm so sorry. So the tropical weather is kind of nice, except when it gets super hot. When I get that weird in between time, then I start having problems, like I am right now. Um, yeah. So it's when it's so hot, I don't know how you handle it. So the line, so he didn't fix it. He put a bead of silicone and it immediately leaked. So we called him up and said, why didn't you fix this? He says, I'm already done. I'm all due. I'm not sticking by my repair. The second guy comes and he said, okay, the gasket's got to get fixed out. Do not use silicone. I'm allergic to the fumes. Um, he changed the gasket. He used the wrong size gasket. The toilet was sitting like this, so he used a ton of silicone. It leaked. The third guy came. I stood over him and watched him do it and told him step by step to do it. So that was 3 sets of plumber bills I paid for one simple repair I could have done easily. So that's my least favorite thing here. Oh, I take it back. Some American tourists. The kind of American tourists that show up and raise hell with the hotel because the wind is blowing. It's blowing sand all over their perfect beach vacation. Those kind of tourists I hate. I hate with a passion because they come here and they act ignorant. I had a situation early in the week where I was at the bank and there was a set there that was just raising hell with the poor little bank teller. Told me to jump over the counter and beat the crap out of her. There was an older guy and his wife. They're saying, in New York City, this works this way. He says, well, you're in Costa Rica now, chicken. It don't work that way. You just threaten that guy. If this was the States, they would have already pressed the little button under the counter and the police would have been here already. So there's that. So I actually stepped in and said, no, we're not doing that to those people. I started talking to them and said, because they were trying to move here, I said, if you're this frustrated to those people, I started talking to them and said, because they were trying to move here, I said, if you're this frustrated by this, that you are threatening people, they've already kicked you out of two other branches of this bank, you shouldn't move here. If you cannot adjust to the culture, do not even think about moving here because the culture is so very different. So that's my rant about that. You get culture here that is just bizarrely different than any place I've ever lived. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. Culture is culture and where you live, and you can't show up in somebody else's culture and try to change it. What are you, a colonizer? Are you the Pilgrims getting off the Mayflower telling all the Native Americans how they're going to live their life? I don't think so. That's not acceptable to do anymore. You can't show up and change somebody else's culture because you don't like it. So, who knows what's going to happen with her? But I suspect 7M and what's going to happen with her. But I suspect 7M and Robert Shen are hitting Minnesota culture. Prairie, you could probably speak to that. That things are done a certain way up there, different than other places. I keep threatening to show up for this trial if it ever happens, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that KJ's lawyer is going to continue to be late, like they were today, about 15 minutes to the courtroom. They're going to continue to just drag their feet until Robert throws his hands up and says, "No, enough." I love how down the rabbit hole of bedtime said it. If you live in places with other cultures, you need to show them respect. Exactly. Exactly, exactly. That would be like me trying to move to Michigan and trying to make everybody cook Cajun food. It just wouldn't happen. She's absolutely right. And Prairie, I did not know that about your sister, but I can tell from having been in one of those places as a teenager, I can see it. I can see it all too well. And more and do the activity that they were doing that caused them to land there in the first place even more. So you have to be really careful about anything to do with any kind of mental health at teenagers because it's very different than mental health treatment for adults. It just is. They're a different animal, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go. I feel like I need to take bleach and pour it over my brain now because I talked about her. Ugh. I talked about the Kleenex lady, or the lady with no Kleenex who needs a whole big box of it. Love you guys. You have a great day, and I'll be back.